Even Federer had to pull up to watch Alex Eala. That is how phenomenal she has been over this last week and a bit. But her magical run at Wimbledon is officially over. She is out of the tournament. She showed immense fight, incredible grit, and pure determination on the grass courts of London. Today, however, felt like just the beginning of something truly spectacular for her career. A big shout-out must go to Jasmine Paolini, who has marched into another Grand Slam quarterfinal at Wimbledon. Paolini defeated the rising star in 3 unbelievable sets of tennis, where the momentum kept swinging back and forth in a grueling tactical battle before she finally edged it out at the finish line. Wimbledon rolled out the velvet rope, then realized the loudest guests packed up and went home before dessert. That is the bizarre conversation swirling around the grounds after the departure of the young prodigy, as fans began questioning whether the tournament suddenly lost some of its electricity. Was one rising star really capable of changing the mood of an entire Grand Slam, or has the internet turned a great tennis story into an even bigger legend? This story gets surprisingly wild. After the match, opponents noted how difficult it was to return her serve, especially when the pace slowed down. This tactical variance throws off the rhythm of competitors, acting as an unexpected weapon even without explosive power. While she might not be the biggest server on tour compared to other power hitters, she maximizes her strengths and uses her strategic variation to gain an immediate advantage on the court. During her matches, the venue started feeling less like a traditional tennis tournament and more like the world's biggest Filipino family gathering. Every time she walked through the gates of Wimbledon, the atmosphere changed in a way that even seasoned tennis fans struggled to explain. Becoming a dominant force on the grandest stage in tennis is a monumental feat for any 21-year-old player. It is easy to forget her young age because of how incredibly mature, composed, and professional she appears to be during press conferences and interviews. Her success marks an iconic historical milestone, as she became the first player from her country to reach the second week of a major in the Open era. Flags appeared from every corner of the grounds. Cheers echoed across practice courts that normally attracted only a handful of spectators. And ordinary first-week matches suddenly carried the energy of a Grand Slam final. Tennis analysts and fans worldwide are agreeing that she is exactly what the sport needs right now. Although her tournament journey came to an end in the round of 16, she still has so much to be proud of and an incredibly bright future ahead. Her historic upset over the defending champion completely transformed the narrative of the women's draw. By the time her remarkable journey finally came to an end, something unexpected happened. The conversation around the tournament was no longer focused solely on who was still actively competing. Instead, the global audience remained captivated by her representation, her positive impact, and the massive wave of support following her online and in the stadiums. The sheer volume of national flags, YouTube views, and social media engagement brought a completely new flavor and unique energy to the historic tournament. Fans have even compared her fighting style to that of former world number 1 Angelique Kerber, finding a relatable, high-energy competitor to root for. People kept talking about the player who had already left, and how one young woman had somehow become one of the tournament's biggest attractions. That says everything about how extraordinary her rise has been. Only a few years ago, she was viewed as a promising junior with tremendous potential. Today, she stands as one of the most recognizable new faces in professional women's tennis, proving she belongs on the sport's grandest stage. Stunning the defending champion along the way before falling in a thrilling 3-set battle, she left center court with something that cannot be measured by rankings alone. She earned the admiration of sports fans across the globe and inspired celebrations stretching thousands of miles away to her home country, where massive public viewing parties stayed packed throughout her unforgettable run. The buzz and support generated around her are on a scale that veteran commentators admit they have never witnessed before for a rising star, rivaling and sometimes exceeding the attention given to the top-ranked players in the world. Perhaps the most fascinating part of the story was that none of this appeared to be manufactured. There was no elaborate marketing campaign convincing people to follow her journey. Nobody needed to tell the fans that history might be unfolding before their eyes. They recognized it immediately. Every victory became another reason to wake up before sunrise, gather around televisions with family members, or squeeze into sports bars and community watch parties wearing national colors with enormous pride. Wimbledon may have been taking place in London, but for millions of supporters around the world, it felt strangely close to home. That incredible support became impossible to ignore inside the club grounds. Practice sessions that would normally pass quietly suddenly attracted crowds several rows deep. Volunteers, security staff, and tournament organizers quickly discovered that whenever her name appeared on the schedule, far more people showed up than anyone initially expected. Being a competitive athlete at this elite level naturally comes with immense pressure. But she views it through a grounded perspective. She draws inspiration from the everyday struggles of working-class families and her parents, who sacrificed so much to provide opportunities for her and her brother. This deep appreciation keeps her focused amidst the soaring expectations. Fans patiently waited for hours simply to watch her hit routine forehands and backhands during practice, proving that the excitement surrounding her extended well beyond official matches. This phenomenon was not simply the result of patriotic support. Tennis experts have spent months explaining why she has become one of the most intriguing young players on tour. She does not rely on overwhelming power or thunderous serves capable of ending points instantly. Instead, her game revolves around movement, intelligence, anticipation, and remarkable determination. She refuses to surrender rallies that appear lost, chases down balls that many players would abandon, and repeatedly forces opponents into playing one extra shot. Those defensive qualities have made her one of the most entertaining players among the sport's rising generation. Her confidence has grown dramatically with every major tournament, and that steady improvement became obvious throughout the current season. Victories like the ones she achieved this week are the start of something truly special. Analysts now view her as a genuine contender, rather than a dangerous outsider capable of producing just one surprise result. If a player is capable of knocking out the defending champion, they must be considered a serious threat for the title. After establishing herself inside the elite rankings, she consistently reached the latter stages of prestigious tournaments, demonstrating that her breakthrough performances were anything but accidental. International media rushed to tell the story of the athlete who had become one of the biggest headlines almost overnight. This breakthrough year has showcased the birth of a superstar who is clearly box office material. One of the most refreshing aspects of her rise has been the way she has handled growing fame. While many athletes naturally change as their public profile grows, she continues to carry herself with the relaxed attitude of someone who simply enjoys competing. Fellow players describe a friendly, supportive atmosphere developing among the younger generation on tour, making life easier during a demanding international schedule. She has quietly become a key part of this locker room culture, building relationships without losing the fierce competitiveness required on court. This balance has only strengthened her popularity. Fans appreciate athletes who remain approachable, authentic, and grounded. Every autograph session and interview reinforce the impression that she remains unchanged despite her skyrocketing stardom. Her unique position as a pioneer from her home country has ignited a passion for tennis across an entire nation for the first time. Furthermore, her background training at the prestigious Rafael Nadal Academy has secured her a loyal following among international fans, creating a truly global fan base. Even when her journey ended, the conversation remained centered on the incredible atmosphere she created. Major news outlets reported that thousands gathered at public viewing events in major cities just to watch her fourth-round match, illustrating how deeply invested the public has become in her journey. Broadcasters and commentators praised the passion of her supporters, who transformed a stadium thousands of miles away into something resembling a loud home match. Every sport depends on athletes capable of attracting entirely new audiences, and she is doing exactly that. She has introduced countless young people to professional tennis, while simultaneously reminding the sporting world that excellence can emerge from non-traditional tennis nations. Her success has expanded the reach of the sport rather than simply adding another talented player to an already crowded field. Tournament organizers have undoubtedly noticed that wherever she competes, attendance and engagement soar. Her journey proves how dramatically tennis has evolved into a global sport, breaking the traditional dominance of a few select countries.